But yeah, so we are moving on. So this is going to be game 4. It's going to be
Okay. Piranha Pit. I believe it's Piranha Pit Rainmaker.
Piranha Pit Rainmaker. Awesome. So
I'm expecting meta. I always expect meta. This is Japan we're talking about.
yeah,
We're
well,
gonna
it's a little
see.
bit hard to expect meta when it comes to Piranha Pit Rainmaker, right? Like,
True, true. I mean, it's a bit of a weird map, and you don't expect no, people don't run average things. But looking at the stream, the perspective of watching, which I think is Oumi Rengou. Yeah, yeah.
yes, I think
Yes,
so.
they're running a pretty meta comp. I mean, Tetris has been coming up a bit more recently. People have been saying Tetris are good. Why aren't people playing more Tetris? And yeah, but a bit different coming from Dynamon's team. The double backline with the Slosher Deco, which is different because a lot of people have been running the Soda Slosher
Yeah, the
recently.
double backline makes sense on this map, right? This is kind of
Oh
like one
yeah,
of those like albacore like maps where like you kind of need that range. It's also like arguable that something like Explosher and something like Custom Jet, they're not like as committed to long range as some other backline weapons are. So running two of these almost backlines kind of gives you the flexibility to be aggressive and do midline stuff while also offering that kind of backline presence, right?
yeah. CGS has kind of got this nice. It's kind of like ballpoint in a way. Both of them fill similar roles where they can kind of flex to midline if they're with another backline. So it's a lot more flexible way of playing, and it can help basically to project pushes forward. And as we're saying that, a push to 10, which is quite incredible by Oumi Rengou. Wipe, however, so it's going to be a reset, but it was a good starting push, I think, for the first minute.
Yeah, first minute. Again, it is Rainmaker, so that means that the enemy team has 4 minutes to make a game-winning push in the game mode. That's arguably the easiest to make a game-winning push, aside from maybe Splat Zones. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the thing about Splat Zones is your progress earlier in the game kind of makes more of a difference of what the enemy can do to win the game. Whereas in Rainmaker, it's just is the Rainmaker here, yes or no? So this is definitely going to be a. This is definitely not a game that's over, but only
oh, yeah.
Rengu has been showing a lot of dominance so far. I mean, this Tetra is just in the opponent's base. Look at this. The Rainmaker moving up. The Rainmaker gets taken out, but people are already in position to try to get some spawn kills. Nice job by Dynamon to take out the reinforcements and eventually take out the Rainmaker. But man, they got it to 7. That's 2 potentially
Seven,
game-winning
3 more
pushes.
points. The
In
amount of
under 2
pressure,
minutes. Yeah.
the amount of pressure that's coming out, especially at 2 minutes, and they got 2 sub 10 pushes, which is it's not a good sign. But I mean, we are talking about Rainmaker here, like you said. Game-winning pushes can come out of absolutely nothing.
Also,
So
Agongers, they were able to get a win on the board. We didn't get to see the rest of the matches right now outside of this this direct feed. So maybe they have the explosive tendencies too. It's just you got to give them a second.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, we don't know which match it was, but it was either Splat Zones or Clan Blitz that they managed to get it in. I would hazard a guess and say Splat Zones, considering the type of comp that we can see in this game and that we saw in the last TC game. So I think the explosive pushes seem to be the correct guess here, especially now considering that they've already started to push the 43. It didn't really get them anywhere. They did have 2 taken down, and the Tetra is providing a good backup for teammates to get that push back in. But it's a good start. It's a good showing, and we've still got 2 minutes left of the game to see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean they have 2 minutes left, and I mean if they're on par with their opponents, if they deserve the win, their opponents were able to make 2 sub 10 pushes in under 2 minutes, so they should in turn be able to as well. But right now, Omni Rengu, they're the ones with the Rainmaker. They're the ones making the pushes, so this is not it's not the best start for Agongers to do something about it. But you know what? So far, anything could happen, I suppose.
Honestly, looking at it, it's looking like Omi Ren, you want to just put the Rainmaker in a really tough position because they just moved that in like one of the most annoying positions for
Yeah,
Rainmaker. Like
right.
right in the corner, and you've got to bring it back out. It's longer, so even if you do get like a three
It's
down
the Scooty
situation,
Juniors. Oh, he gets actually taken out by Dynamon. Dynamon seems to keep just kind of saving situations right there. Really aware of what his teammates needs. Really aware of what he can do with that Explosher, and he keeps getting these picks, but it just isn't enough. Stopping a bad situation from becoming terrible isn't exactly what you want to have happen. And again, Omni Rengnu with another knockout right now, so this is looking pretty scary for Agongers.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's not good. That's not good. And those Tetras have just been doing so much work, and it really is Dynamon that needs to be stopping them because he's got that splash damage. He doesn't
oh,
care
is this
about the
gonna work?
rolls. Is it going? Oh, close enough.
Not quite, not quite. I mean, the the Booyah Bomb was there, but what? So is this 4 pushes to almost 10 that they've been
I
able to put
think
up?
that's the third. I
The
think
third one?
that's the third, but we're most likely going to be seeing a four because the pressure they're keeping up still with only 2 people up on the field could potentially open up to something else unless Dynamon takes out the Tetras, which he does. You can see a flank on the map, but it's not really going much anywhere at the moment. Yeah, he's gone.
Yep. And 17 seconds left on the clock. This Tetra, is he going to get a double? He's not going to get a double, so he does get revenge killed, so there's a little bit of a glimmer of hope here. It's a 3v2 situation, but this has got to be a push to something ridiculous. There is not a Stingray ready at the side of Oumi Rengou, so that's one advantage that AGONGERS has to work with, but it doesn't really seem like it matters that Oumi Rengou is just getting all of these picks, and it's just been really difficult for AGONGERS to... Yep, and there it goes.
There he goes, Dynamon. Last one alive with the Rainmaker getting taken out quite swiftly there. And I think that's Oumi Rengou taking the game.
Yep, definitely going to be taking the game right there. And that was a dominating performance. I don't really know what happened in the other games. But,
I mean, I'd probably say Dongers. They probably brought something out and like they have quite explosive paint. I think that's one thing like they had with their composition, quite explosive paint. So I'm gonna stick to it and say it was Splat Zones that we don't know, but it was Splat Zones that they won in my vision because they've got that explosive paint from the Explosion, and they're quite quick to jump out the gate. At least Dynamon is from what I've seen in his previous games.
Yep, and well, again, these are some teams with some fan favorites that have made it all the way to top 4. I mean, we saw AGONGERS last game, man. Like against Q's pickup, they were very stable. They showed a lot of like expertise. So it's important to remember that once you get to this point, the team that lost got here for a reason.
Yeah, it's not like it was a round one easy pick sort of situation. These guys have gone through a lot of teams. It's a big tournament. It's 128 teams in this tournament, and so they managed to get top 4 in a situation like that. That shows some skill, and just like Team Olive, they should be proud that they got this far.